This is officially way worse than we thought it was going to be. As the NFL's official free agency tampering window has just opened, the Seahawks have already lost multiple contributors from their Super Bowl winning team. And these aren't just depth pieces. We are talking about key starters and our Super Bowl MVP. In just a few hours, the Seahawks roster looks completely different. Today, we are breaking down all these players the Seahawks have lost and where they can go from here. What is up, everyone? Hope you're having a great day from wherever you are tuning in from. Kyle Guerrero here, your host of Seahawks Digest, where we bring you everything Seattle Seahawks news related, rumor related, and report related as it is happening in real time. And today is a big day in the NFL because today is the official start of the NFL free agency tampering window, which is just before the start of the NFL free agency on March 11th, which is basically 2 days that NFL teams can go out and begin negotiating with other teams' upcoming pending free agency and get deals going so they can sign them as soon as March 11th hits. And it's been a busy day for the Seahawks as we have many free agents that we don't know what we are going to do yet. So there have been some signings that the Seahawks have already made, which I have made another video about that I'm going to link somewhere around here right now, which covers all the signings that we have made today. But in this video, we are going to focus on who the Seahawks lost today, as they have lost a lot of key contributors. One being our Super Bowl MVP at running back, another rotational edge player who just got paid on another team, and also our starting safety that has just been great for us over the past few years. So we're going to break down all of that and also where the Seahawks can go at each one of these positions from here. But before we dive in, we've noticed that 98% of you guys are not subscribed. So if you love the Seahawks and you want to stay up to date with all the latest Seattle Seahawks content, please hit that subscribe button. It is free and it really helps us grow this channel. Now let's dive right in. First thing is first, let's get this elephant out of the room. Kenneth Walker, our Super Bowl MVP, has signed with the Kansas City Chiefs for 3 years, $43 million, could be worth up to $45 with incentives, with $28.7 million guaranteed. This is a top 5 running back deal league-wide. Wow. I mean, I'm not surprised. We kind of already knew that we were going to lose Walker, but for him to get this kind of money and on the Chiefs is just wow. Congratulations goes out to him, obviously, on securing this deal, which is definitely going to be nice on his bank account. But this is definitely a big loss for the Seahawks, especially with us not having Charbonnet. But for that kind of money, that is not something that the Seahawks want to allocate that kind of funds to when we have so many other decisions we need to make. Let's take a moment just to review K9's stats from just last season, where he rushed for 1,027 yards, about 4.65 per carry, and only 5 touchdowns on the ground. He had another 282 yards in the air. Obviously, he did split a lot of his load with Zach Charbonnet, and people say Zach Charbonnet was that goal line touchdown snatcher for Kenneth Walker, really holding him back. But, Kenneth Walker had a solid year for us, and overall in past years, he has been injured a lot, which is why we had him splitting that workload with Charbonnet. But in the playoffs, he was really able to become that bell cow running back. And in those 3 games against the 49ers, the Rams, and the New England Patriots, he looked like a top 5 running back in the league. He looked like an MVP, and he was a big reason of why we won the Super Bowl this year. But with this kind of money, this is just nuts. I think the Seahawks were expecting we could maybe negotiate with him at about 8 or 9, maybe $10 million per year, maybe over 4 years, maybe with more money guaranteed, just so it looks a little bit better for him. But to go to Kansas City on this kind of deal is just, it is crazy. So yes, losing K9 is a big blow, but what's even a bigger blow is the other free agency we were looking at and we have covered on this channel before have also been snatched up by other teams today. Travis Etienne to the Saints, Kenneth Gainwell to the Buccaneers, Algier, who was someone that became a big Seahawk target this year, has signed with the Cardinals. Even Rico Dowdle is now off the board, signing with Pittsburgh. So this honestly goes to show me that John Schneider and the Seahawks are not willing to spend any money really for this running back position. And we are most likely, if we make a free agency splash, it will be for someone on a 1-year deal, probably under about $5 million, hopefully less than that, just knowing what they've done in the past. Some of the names that are still on the board that the Seahawks could target are Joe Mixon, Najee Harris, Austin Eckler. I've heard a lot of rumors about Brian Robinson, who is down at the bottom there. And there are still a lot of names on here that could come in and, be a guy for us that can start the season. It is also worth noting we tendered George Holani a few days ago. So our current running back situation is looking like Holani, Charbonnet once he gets back and healthy, and then McIntosh. And then probably a guy in the draft or one of these names that are still on the list right here. Who stands out here for you guys, and who do you think we should maybe make a run at and see who we can get on a team-friendly contract here? The next player that the Seahawks lost today was safety Coby Bryant. The Bears and standout Coby Bryant have agreed to a 3-year, $40 million deal per sources. Bryant has 7 interceptions over the last 2 years and has started 34 games during this time, with Seattle amassing 7 forced fumbles and 17 passes defended. And this sucks. We love Coby Bryant. He's a guy that we drafted a few years ago, I think, in that great 2022 draft from John Schneider. But $40 million over 3 years, that is just a lot of money for a guy like him. He is definitely having that Super Bowl winning inflation right now, and he's earned this bag and this paycheck, but it is a lot of money for a guy like him. Looking at what other safeties are getting around the league, Coby Bryant is pretty much the top paid safety from free agency so far as of today when making this video, which is just absurd, but honestly great for Coby Bryant. Let's see where the Seahawks could go from here to replace him. There are a lot of names here at the safety position for free agency right now. A lot of them, ranging in that mid single digit millions number. Lots of names there. Xavier Woods, Geno Stone, Kyle Duggar. So there's all names here we could go out and get, but what I think the Seahawks are going to do for this position is move Ty O'Connor back into a starting position where he has played a little bit this year and was a great rotational piece, because did you forget we have Ty O'Connor? He played amazing last year filling in for Julian Love when he was hurt. So Ty O'Connor will most likely slide into that position where Coby Bryant has played this year, and we may also add some draft capital at this position, which is most likely going to happen for the Seahawks. Last but most certainly not least, and not least because look at that number, the Bengals are signing our former edge Boye Mafe to a 3-year, $60 million deal. And wow, this is crazy, because even as recent as yesterday, insiders were reporting that Boye Mafe was in the market for maybe a 2-year, $25 million deal, around $12.5 a year. So for Boye Mafe to get $20 million a year for 3 years is just absolutely insane. Boye Mafe was another great guy from our 2022 draft class, but for an edge who's getting paid $20 million a year, he only had 2 sacks and 1 forced fumble. Getting paid $20 million a year for this is insane, but who knows what's going over on in Cincinnati. Their defense is probably the worst in the league anyway, so they're trying to make up for it there. So congratulations out to Boye Mafe for getting that bag. He became more of a rotational piece for us as the year kind of went on, with guys like Derek Hall, DeMarcus Lawrence, really filling in those positions and playing them better. So this is a depth piece loss for the Seahawks, and we do need to add more depth at the edge position moving forward. So let's take a look at the market and who we could get right now. There are a lot of big names still available. Obviously, most notoriously, Trey Hendrickson, but he has a market value of about $25 million. If we want to go with more of a vet like Hassan Reddick or Joey Bosa, they're going to be a little bit cheaper. There's guys like Leonard Floyd there, but what really piques my interest here is someone like Von Miller or Cameron Jordan, guys who are 15-year pros and 36, 37 years old, but with cap hits only of around $5-6 million. Maybe we can get them for a little bit even cheaper than that if they want to come ring chase a little bit. Either way, lots of options here still. Obviously, we can go and get a young guy in the draft as well. What's really interesting about Von Miller specifically is that he had a meeting in person with the Seahawks last year, and he almost signed with us, but he decided to go to the Commanders to play with Jaden Daniels. And fair enough to him. They just came off of that NFC conference berth where they lost to Philadelphia. No one knew or thought the Seahawks would be as good as they were this year, but man, Von, you made the wrong decision. Maybe you want to backtrack on that now. Who knows? What today has really meant for the Seahawks. These early departures show something interesting about Seattle's approach this offseason. The Seahawks are not panic spending to keep every single player. Instead, they're being very selective about which players they retain and which ones they allow to test the market. That strategy John Schneider has used successfully for years. And what we need to note here is all these players are getting the Super Bowl inflation contracts right now. They are getting way overpaid because they just won the Super Bowl and they have hype around them, which congratulations goes out to all of them. on getting these deals and securing the bag, not only for their family, but their future family. But for John Schneider and the Seahawks, we need to focus on what is going to make us the best winning team next year. And that is spreading out our money enough that we can build a whole team and not allocate it just to a few guys. John Schneider has always been good with finding value in every single dollar he spends. So it is time for the 12's verdict, and I want to know, who are you most upset about us losing, and do you think we should have re-signed them for what they got? I mean, honestly, my opinion is no to all of these, but I would love to hear from you guys. Are you most upset about losing Kenneth Walker, Boye Mafe, or Coby Bryant? Let me know down below. And that's going to do it for this episode of Seahawks Digest. Please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And we are going to be keeping you up to date with all of the Seahawks free agency moves and everything they were doing all off season long. Till next episode, go Hawks.